The famous Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu said once, "At the center of your being you have the answer. You know who you are, and you know what you want." Well, sadly in my case, I've discovered it's demon girls. Sorry elves, sorry dummy thick, oh my god, sorry all other mythical beings, sorry snakes. These girls in Devilish Darlings Portal Fantasy are the one. They are adorable. If you like isekai, I don't. This is great for you. It's short, it's sweet, it's only, I think, 5 or 6 chapters. It has its whole story in there, and my god, the art is fantastic. So let's quickly go over this, and I'm going to recommend it to you. Spoilers, it's great. It's like any other isekai, where we follow our main character who's transported to another world for seemingly no reason. His name is Kitaro, by the way. He's your average self-insert. He's the most generic looking man you could have drawn. He discovers a half-devil, Nia, who has to guide him back home, essentially. That he comes in through a portal goes missing, they have to go find the other portal, and hijinks ensue. Obviously they run into another girl. You can't have one, you have to have two. This is Rosette, and she is equally amazing. I mean, good luck picking between them. They all they've got their own assets and perks, let's just say that. Along their journey, they bump into the other mythological beings, such as a werewolf, an orc, and some other half-devils. It's a very, very simple story. As I say, there's not much else to say. It's very much a very short road trip. It's what happens along the way that makes all the difference here. As such, I'm sure you're wondering, well, why am I talking about it if it's such a short road trip and it's a very generic isekai? Well, the whole gist is that he discovers that along their journey that half-devils can only be created through the partnership between a devil and a human. So a couple of humans have turned up in this isekai world before, but they need children, and the only way they can have children is to procreate with a human. He's the only human. I'm sure you can really guess what goes on here, and why there are 2 half-devils with him, fighting over him, and I'm sure you can imagine what happens when he meets all the other half-devils, and all the things that are going to go on with those. So in light of basically fan service the manga having much in the way of plot, we're going to talk about the art style for a little bit. The art is, as I said, fantastic. Oh my, even for fan service, it's really hard to find really nice art, and I just love how these demon girls are drawn. The outfits are so nice, they're perfectly skimpy, they're sort of that leather latex kind of look, everyone has long flowing hair, the little horns. They also do that really nice thing where you have a character who's reacting to something and they really pare their art style down so they look really cute, and the next frame they're really highly detailed. These are real basic tenets of a well-drawn manga, but it's not often you see it, especially in more smut like this. You do see you do see them with their shirts off, you know. What else are you asking for here? And that's all pretty well drawn, let's be honest. So while on the subject, let's get to actually why I know you want to read this and why I read it to begin with. It's the girls. All the girls are staggeringly beautiful and obviously very, very well drawn. They cover a very wide range of things that you may be interested in, things that you should probably read this for. Let's go through that list. This manga is for you if you like butts, cleavage, underboober, not a common one, long hair, short hair, elf ears, a personal favourite, horns, cute little fangs, devil tails and wings, skimpy leather outfits, those medieval sort of thigh-high boots usually made of leather with a nice heel on the bottom. Very nice, very nice. Harems, quite a weirdly large amount of tongues and or licking. Monster girls, ara demon mommy babes, a bit of non-con at a certain point. And of course, what we all want to read this for, big hook daddies.
Oh yeah.
The only thing they don't have is amazing feet, in my opinion, as someone who's not a fan of that anyway, but these are especially a bit weird, they're kind of demon-y. Now, before I go on about the girls for a few more hours, you could imply that because I'm talking about them so much and want to carry on, that there's not much else to say about the art. And you would be wrong, but not completely wrong. It is a medieval sort of fantasy world, and these women do live in the woods. So there's not exactly much variance in terms of art. You've got some nice houses, you know, usual wooden sort of cauldron-esque fantasy stuff. And then there's woods, and that's kind of really it. There's some mountains, there's some clearings, but it's so short and it's so character-driven that we really actually don't get to see many locations here, which isn't a bad thing, really. If this was like Berserk or something, you know, where it really mattered about the world they're in, totally understand, but not really here, to be honest. There are 2 mountains, and you get to see them every time they go for a bath. In terms of demon girls, there's not exactly much choice. I would have to put these girls up there with the other 2 that I can think of really quickly, and that is Jahi-sama from Jahi-sama. That one's way more slice of life, not nearly as smutty. Anything's covered by steam if you see it anyway. And I guess it would count, but plus-sized elf has a succubus. And I'll count it. So maybe if I find a few more, I'll do like a top 10 and we'll go from there. But for now, back to these beautiful Devilish Darlings. So obviously there's the elephant in the room, as I've mentioned, that the main aim of these devil girls is to procreate, and he's the only guy to procreate with. That tends to be where the smut comes from here. They are going to have that isekai harem nature of fighting over him, the most generic man in the world, just to make babies. So it will come as no surprise to you. So, you know, I like this guy. Oh, what else has he done? I really like his art style. It's surprisingly good. There's a lot of detail in the places that you actually want there to be. So what's he done? And I couldn't find that much out about him. So scrolling through, and there was some work on some anthologies here and there, and I thought, there's no way this guy came out fully formed like Athena. He must have practiced on something, right? And then I worked out, he used to draw the Naughty No-No comics on the internet, those famous websites with the devil wings, or maybe start with an N. So back to the manga. It's a shorter manga. It is in itself short, well-rounded, ends quite nicely, quite sweet. I know I did talk it up for being smut, but there are actually quite some nice moments in it, where you really see the pun intended human side of the characters. And the whole conceit between Kitaro and Nia is that she wants him to procreate, but she also understands that she can't force him to. She can't, well, we'll get into that when you read it. She can't make him, really. She wants to actually earn it, so she wants him to fall in love with her. And with Rosette, due to a past bad experience, she actually really doesn't like humans, but she needs to procreate to carry on her species. It's a dynamic. It's a dynamic. It feels like a dynamic written so you can see parts of their bodies, but it'll do. But even then, it's still worth a read. I do recommend it. It is published by my favourite publishers, 7 Seas Entertainment. I will talk these guys up until the end of time. They published Plus Size Elf. I already love them so much. It's under their Ghost Ship range. Great beer as well. Not made by them. But that category on 7 Seas seems to just be smut. The amount of times I've found stuff through just searching through what they've published and gone, oh, that's an interesting cover. I wonder what that's about. They do stuff about gals as well. There's quite a lot, actually. So yeah, check them out. Check this manga out. It's only 1 physical book because it's that short. So it's very short and sweet, which is what we want. You go in, you see the booba, you're right out there. I don't know what to give it, really. I think it might be it's probably a 6 out of 10 because it is very short, so the characters don't develop. The dynamics are fun, but at the end of the day, it's basically just to be smut. I would like to see this guy make other stuff. Maybe not this thing again, but if he ever draws another demon girl, I will be first in the line. And with that, let's say thank you for watching. Drop me a like if you liked it. If you hated it, drop a like anyway, because just be nice. Drop me a subscribe, that'd be great. At the time of recording, I'm at 19, very close to the big 20. Don't know what I'll do to celebrate. I might get drunk. I might read some other smut, who knows. Leave a comment, drives up my engagement, woohoo! And yeah, you could recommend something you're reading, or tell me what you thought about this one. And lastly, shameless plug, I've got a Ko-fi link, drop me £3. Things are expensive, Christmas just passed, and God, I need a beer after all this. Anyway, goodbye.